Hello everyone, my name is Gabby, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super review. This time reviewing episode 75. While Beerus and Whis are away, Goku is starting to get bored without someone to train with. Everyone is either unable to fight with him or forced out of it by Chi-Chi. So Goku goes to Krillin to train. While initially hesitant, after 18 chews him out for being weak, Krillin agrees. They go to Kame-Sennin and ask for more training, and he gives them a task to collect the Paradise Flower from a mysterious island. But as Goku and Krillin arrive at the island and enter a cave in it, strange things start happening. They're confronted by all of their former enemies, including Tambourine. So, what did I like about this episode? Well, first of all, honestly, the episode looked really surprisingly good. Like, the animation was all really interesting. Like, basically both fights, the fight between Goku and Gohan and the fight between Goku and Krillin, they all honestly looked really good. Like, kind of conservative with their animation, but like there was a lot of movement and energy, and it was very like fast paced, and like it was kind of exhilarating to watch. And I'm like, oh my god, this actually looks surprisingly good for some episode in another 2-episode mini filler arc. At this point, I'm kind of just waiting for AJ's video where he's gonna go and do a really great breakdown over exactly who did what parts of the episode and why it looks so good. If you guys haven't subscribed to AJ, you should subscribe to him if you care anything about Dragon Ball Super's animation. But no, it looked really good. I'm just hoping this doesn't mean that like there's going to be one point in the Universe Survival arc where things are going to look really bad because, animation schedules and stuff, but, there was some really cool looking fights here, and I'm glad we got them at the very least. And yeah, there was a really cool kind of fan service moment we got, and that was Goku and Gohan actually fighting together, like sparring. Obviously, Goku was holding back immensely, and I don't actually know how much Gohan was holding back, but it wasn't just like a warm up. They were actually trying to like fight legitimately, and I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize how cool that is and how much I sort of really wanted to see that until that moment. Like Goku and Gohan actually like interacting in this sort of fighting business. And even if it's kind of strange for Gohan to be doing this, it's like, it was really cool. I really enjoyed that. But the big thing about this episode that really interested me was just Krillin. The one thing I really like about Krillin, like compared to practically like every other rival and character in the series, is that, Krillin knows that Goku was way stronger than him, and he's never really like resentful for it. He's never wanting to like surpass Goku. He's never like really pissed off that Goku gets so strong. Instead, like Krillin's reaction to like having someone like Goku around and being his best friend is kind of like this sort of almost like inferiority complex. The idea that compared to most human beings, Krillin is honestly one of the strongest alive, and most of the time he is literally the strongest human, but compared to Goku and Co. and all the people he knows about, he's actually comparatively not that strong. It's like he's got this weird thing. It's like on one hand he's really strong, on the other hand he's not strong enough, and it's like honestly he did kind of seem to be contemplating that in this episode. It's like this entire episode was just sort of Krillin thinking about this idea and just sort of being like, okay, so then do I want to get stronger? I've gotten weaker recently because I haven't been fighting or training. I've just been a cop and been caring about my wife and my daughter, but should I get stronger then? Do I not want to get weaker? Does it really matter? And it's like, it's really contemplative. It's a lot of just Krillin just sort of thinking about what he wants to do with his life, and that is really cool and subtle and character focused. And I loved that this entire episode just felt like an episode from like early Dragon Ball. It's very, completely literally down to earth. It's talking about these characters. There's no crazy like world destroying threats things. It's that they're going to some random place on earth, and a lot of the fights are a lot more kind of mental than they are completely physical as to like how hard you can punch. And it's like I really like it when Dragon Ball does stuff like this. It's honestly it's just really refreshing to see. As for what I didn't like about this episode, well, first of all, the whole stuff with 18 kind of like almost sort of shaming Krillin for being weak and getting weaker was honestly something that kind of surprised me and honestly almost bugged me a little. Like, I mean, first of all, just the idea in general that like, you can't punch someone as hard as you used to because you haven't been training, because you've been busy doing the stuff you want to do with your life. Like the idea that that's something that you should be ashamed of. It's one of those things that when that happens in the series, like say maybe like Gohan and the Buu Saga, it's like something I'm always like, oh, why would you say that's a bad thing if they're doing what they always wanted? Why do you think that's something that you should be punished for? Why should you be punished for doing the thing that you want to do with your life? And the other thing that kind of bugged me was when 18 was saying that the man that she fell in love with like wasn't such a weakling and a coward. I think that's honestly really weird because, well, no, like, if you really think about it, 18 did fall in love with a weakling and a coward. You know, when she first met Krillin back in the Cell Saga, Krillin was not as strong as everyone else. Krillin barely did anything the entire arc, and Krillin basically was pretty much a weakling in comparison to a lot of the other characters. And literally, the first exposure the two of them have is when everyone else is going to attack 17 and 18. 17 and 18 beat them easily, and Krillin is just cowering on the sidelines, too scared to even try to attack them. Like, that is where 18 meets Krillin, and that is the exact same moment where 18 kisses Krillin on the cheek. So why would you say that 18 doesn't like the fact that Krillin is a coward and a weakling when Krillin being a coward and a weakling was exactly the way that 18 was introduced to him in the first place? That seems just kind of out of character. Also, once again, it seems like Toei has absolutely no idea what they want to do with Gohan. In this episode, when Goten told Gohan to train with Goku, Gohan said, like, well, I don't really fight anymore, but then he's decided that he could just go and pretend to be the Great Saiyan Man, and he could say, hey, the Great Saiyan Man could probably fight, and he sort of used that as an excuse so he could go and spar with Goku. I just found that so odd. Not necessarily from an in-character perspective, but like, in this sort of like retrospective perspective. Because the fact is, Gohan is going to be in the Universe Survival arc. He is going to be fighting there. That is going to start in literally 2 episodes from now. So with that tournament coming up so soon, why would they decide to go around and say that Gohan doesn't fight or he doesn't want to fight? It was just a very odd line. And if they don't write Gohan well enough for the start of the Universe Survival arc, him fighting there is going to feel like it came completely out of nowhere. So, as for next episode, Goku and mostly Krillin are going to be fighting both their metaphorical and very literal demons, including the people who actually killed them. I mean, obviously it's just a kind of fun fan service romp episodes, but it also seems to be, once again, another continuation of like this Krillin character development that they're doing, and it is really cool. It's going to be really cool to see Krillin literally face his demons, and I do want to see what they do with it, and where this whole little subplot is going to lead to. So, that was Dragon Ball Super episode 75. It was a Krillin episode, and it was a really, really good one. It did one of those slice of life episodes I really loved that are slow and character focused and actually seem to have kind of like character development to them. It's the kind of thing that, no, Dragon Ball, the original manga, basically would almost like never do because it didn't really have time. But, you know, with Dragon Ball Super, once again, they're doing these things where they're literally exploring these characters in detail, exploring what they think, what they feel about these situations. It's so cool. You could say it's unlike Dragon Ball, but it is so cool. It is really fun. Basically the kind of stuff I'd write fan fiction of. So I'm really enjoying it, and I really want to see what happens next week. The Universe Survival arc is in about 2 weeks, and then the fact that we've got an actual preview footage, so it is definitely a thing. And the new trailer had some stuff that I thought was kind of stupid, but I do wonder, you know, if they can. Just because something looks stupid doesn't mean it can't be implemented well, but I guess you could say I am saving my potential angry rant for when that is actually introduced, and besides that, other than that, I'm honestly kind of excited for it. It seems just kind of like fan service galore, the arc, even more than the Future Trunks arc, and I actually don't know how they're going to top that in terms of fan service, but hey, it'll be fun. Practically every character is there, including Krillin, and Krillin was in this episode, and it was fun, and if we get to see more of him next arc, that will be fun as well. So this is Gabby, signing out, and I'll see you all next week. Bye guys!